The federal government have rejected the European Union report on the 2023 general election, describing the conclusion of the EU electoral observers mission as jaundiced. We urge the EU and other foreign interests to be objective in all their assessment of the internal affairs of our country and allow Nigerians to breathe. Dele Alake, the special advisor to the President Bola Tinubu on special duty communication and strategy, said in a statement on Sunday. Alake insisted that the February 25, 2023 presidential election was clearly and fairly won by Tinubu, the then candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC. He also said the EU should allow Nigeria breathe and not meddle in the affairs of the country. We find it prosperous and unconscionable that in this day and age any foreign organization or whatever hawks can continue to insist on its own yardsticks and assessment as the only way to determine the credibility, transparency of our election, he said. Tinubu rival Atiku Abubakar of the People Democratic Party (PDP) and Peter Obi of the Labour Party (LP) are currently in court challenging the electoral umpire declaration of former Lagos State Governor as a winner of the poll. On June 2027, on June 27, 2023, the EU presented its report on the 2023 election in Nigeria to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). The EU said the electoral umpire enduring systematic weaknesses and therefore singled a need for further legal and operational reform to enhance transparency, inclusiveness, and accountability. EU also identifies 6 areas for improvement in Nigeria's electoral process moving forward. However, Alake said the government was not unaware of the mechanisms of the European Union to sustain its largely unfounded basis and claim on the electoral outcome. For Alake further stated that there is no sustainable evidence proved by the EU or any foreign and local organization that it's valuable enough to impeach the integrity of the 2023 election. Wow. You see, um, when we do things and we think people are not watching, we think people are not watching, people are not seeing. The truth is that people eyes. There are so many eyes all over, watching what is happening. The February 25th, 2023 general election, presidential election, was one of the election that was described as the worst election, in the history of Nigeria. When you talk about electoral malpractices and electoral violence, but at the end of the day, a winner have to be declared, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared. Even when people were not satisfied with the electoral process, the INEC chairman went on to declare Bola Ahmed Tinubu the winner of the election, even at 4 p.m., 4 a.m., where everybody was still sleeping. And unfortunately, when all these things happens and a new government install, they don't want you to talk about it. They don't want you to talk about the process. They don't want you to talk about the election. They just want you to believe, to everybody to accept that the election has come and gone. And the whole process that happened, the whole thing that happened within the election, they just want you to forget about it. The truth is that it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. We are all human. We all went out there to cast our vote, hoping that our vote was going to count. And unfortunately, reverse was the case. But the case is in court. The main actors are trying as much as possible to fight to see if they can gain back their mandate. Until the court has declared it otherwise, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is still the winner of the election and the president-elect, and he's our president today. But we must listen to history. Now, if the European, Election Observer Mission has given a report. What I think that the government should do instead of discarding this report, instead of condemning it, they should look into this report and find out, is this thing really true? The government is good in setting up panels. They should also set up panel to find out that this report given by European Union, is it really true? The actual truth is that you know uh, the European Union took their time to prepare their report. They were on ground before the election and after the election. They knew what happened. And I want to say categorically that what the European Union has said is absolutely true. Yes, you kick against it because you're a beneficiary of that fraudulent activity that produced Mr. President. If you are part of that fraudulent activity, that system that produced the president that produced, you are beneficiary of that fraudulent activity, you will not agree that it's fraudulent. You will always support it. That is just the fact. But if it has gone the other way around, you will cry. You will cry. That is it. I remember the fuel subsidy we are talking about today. When Jonathan, was trying to remove fuel subsidy, that was what they used against him. Everybody, the man who has approved it today, President Bola Tinubu, and everybody who is with him today, they were the ones that came out in Ojota to condemn and to protest against the removal of subsidy. But today, what happened? He's in government. The first day in fact, less than 10 minutes he took out of office, he announced that subsidy is gone forever. Even when that was not even a part of his speech, he declared it. They say where the word of king is, there is power. So that is what I'm trying to say. We are good at setting up panel to carry out investigation and all that. Why won't the government just calm down, set up panel to look at the report that the United European Union election mission observers mission has presented and find out if it's true or false, which we all know is true because it was so evident. It was so evident. But we kick against it because people kick against it because they are beneficiary of the system, of the rotten system. They are beneficiary of the fraudulent system. They are beneficiary of the decayed system. So they keep painting this system that is decayed, that is rotten, as if it's the best of it all. Yes, if you don't want them to make their report, if you don't want them to talk, you shouldn't have allowed them into the country for the first instance. As long as you have allowed them to observe what has happened during the election time, welcome their report, take their report serious, and work with it. That is just my take concerning this. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to comment below. Let's know what your thoughts is concerning this. Thank you.